Hello student, in last lecture we discussed about the block diagram of Raspberry Pi, and in today's lecture we will see the all the component of the Raspberry Pi and description of that component. Okay, so first important component of Raspberry Pi is the processor. So Raspberry Pi uses a ARM processor which is also installed in a wide variety of mobile phones. Okay, so this is Raspberry Pi is a very unique, or we can say the very modern device that uses a processor which come in the mobile phones. Okay, so this CPU is a single core, and however it does not have a co-processor to perform floating point calculations. So because we don't need any multi-core processor, or we can also say that whenever we require this type of multi-core processor, then we can also install multi-core processor also in on that board. Okay, so then we have a memory. So model B Raspberry Pi has a 512 MB SDRM synchronous RAM, and also right now Raspberry Pi 4 is come with the 4 GB RAM, so it is very quite good running speed. Okay, so it store program that are currently being run in the CPU. Then we have a USB ports. Board has a two USB port, and in Raspberry Pi 4 it has a four USB ports. So USB port can provide a current up to 100 milliampere. So using a power hub, it is possible to connect more devices. Okay, so HDMI output, then high definition multimedia interface are there, supports the high quality digital video and audio through a single cable. So if we use the HDMI cable, then we don't need any audio cable to connect to get the audio. Okay, so because HDMI cable in Hartley has a audio pin. Okay, so it is also possible to connect the computer monitor with the DVI connection to the HDMI using a converter. Okay, so if your computer is old type computer, and your monitor is having a VGA cable, then we can also purchase one HDMI to VGA converter, and we can connect the Raspberry Pi with the VGA type monitor. Then we have a composite video output. It supports the composite video output with the RCA jack, and also support a PAL and NTSC. Okay, so TVDSC pin can also be used to output a composite video. Then we have a audio output. We have a audio jack 3.5 mm, and this jack is used for providing audio output to old television along with the RCA jack for the video. So whenever we use the RCA jack for a video, then in that particular case we have to connect the audio jack with the TV, because in HDMI we have audio video both, but in RCA jack we have only video. Okay, then we have a GPIO pins. Both models have a total of 26 GPIO pins organized into one pin header named the P1 header. The newer Raspberry Pi model adds 8 more GPIO pins in the new pin header called a P5. Okay, so uh, in newer model there are more GPIO pins. Okay, so not all the GPIO pins are programmable. Some of them are 5 volt VDAC or 3.3 VDAC positive power pin. So some of them are negative ground pins, and a few of them are marked DNS, do not connect pins. So the P1 header has a 17 only programmable pins, and the P5 header has adds four more. Okay, so figure shows the GPIO header. Below figure shows the GPIO header. The reading from various environmental sensors, writing output to the DC motors, LEDs for status. All the things can be done using this GPIO pin. Okay. Then we have a power input. Micro USB connector is used for power input. So then we use the status LED. It has a 5 status LED. Okay, so then CSI, camera serial interface, CSI can be used to connect camera module to a Raspberry Pi. Then we have a SD card slot. This is the card used for loading the operating system. Okay, so the Raspberry Pi comes with a set of 26 exposed vertical pins on the board, and these pins are generally general purpose input output interference that is purposely not linked to the any specific native function on the Raspberry Pi model. So this is the header pins that we can use for various purpose. So this is a 3.3 volt DC power pin. Then in front of that we have a 5 volt DC pin. Then we have a SDA A0, SCL0. These are the interrupt signal. Then DNS, then 0 volt. This is a ground pin. TXR RX also there. Then we have a GPO pin. 7 GPO 7 GPO pin are there. So we can connect this with the input or output device. And we have some basic pins for the interrupt and all. Okay, so instead the GPO pins are their explicitity of for the end user to have a low level hardware access directly to the board for the purpose of attaching other hardware boards, peripherals, LCD display screens, and other hardware devices to the PI. Okay, so status of LEDs indicates something that the if ACT is a status of ACT pin is a green, then lights when the SD card is accessed or marked OK or on the earlier boards. Okay, so if PWR pin is red hooked up to the 3.3 volt power, then it will turn on. And if FDX pin is a green on if the network adapter is full duplex, and if Allen key pin is a green, then network activity is light. Okay, then if yellow, then on if the network connection is 100 Mbps speed. So all color of LED indicates a particular thing that okay, so this is how we use the LEDs for Raspberry Pi. So the Raspberry Pi draws its power from micro USB port and requires a micro USB to AC adapter because Pi is a microcomputer and not simply a cell phone getting a battery topped off. So you need to use the high quality charger with the stable power delivery that delivers a consistent 5 volt with at least 700 MVA power. Minimum output for older model units is a 2.5 ampere for the Pipe 3. But nowadays models are advanced and at least we want 700 MVA. So if charger is capable to give the output 1 ampere, so it is enough for the Raspberry Pi. Okay, so now we will discuss the Raspberry Pi with Python. We will not discuss the Linux because this is not in your syllabus. Okay, so how we can use the Raspberry Pi with the Python? The general purpose IO pin is a generic pin on the chip whose behavior can be controlled by the user at the runtime. The GPU connector has a number of different type of connection. So true GPIO pins that you can use to turn on the LEDs on and off, etc. Okay, so I2C interface pins that allow you to connect the hardware modules with just two control pins. SPI interface with the SPI device is similar concept to I2C but uses a different standard. So then we have a RxTX pin for the serial communication. So this is how we connect our a Raspberry Pi with for controlling LEDs. So for this shows the diagram connecting LEDs to the Raspberry Pi. So this is three LED, 1, 2, and 3, and these three LED are connecting with the GPIOs 4, 17, and 27. And this black wire is this last wire is for the ground. Okay, so we have to provide one ground, and these pins are provide the we can say that the input signal. Okay, and another terminal of the LED is connected to the ground through the resistor, because we have to use the resistor because LED does not carry such a high current. Okay, so install Python 2 library in the Raspberry Pi, and RPI GPIO, a library that will let us control the GPIO pins, and install a command. So okay, so go into the command prompt and enter these things, sudo apt to get update. Then if we again type the sudo apt get install python slash the dev developer, then it install the python. Then if we write the sudo apt get install python rpi.gpio, then properly it install this properly this module, how we can control the GPIO pin. Okay, so these are some command that useful for the Raspberry Pi. So simple LED circuit is shown here, that this is the voltage and this is the LED, and how we can turn on or off. So our GPIO pin is connected with the LED with the 200 ohm resistance, and we can also connect it with the 3.3 volt with then in other terminal we can connect the GPIO pin. So current flows from anode to cathode. Anode is longer pin and cathode is shorter pin. So open up ideal the Python programming software and create a new file, save it as a led.py, and the input the code from the code listing. And what the code does is first tell Python to use the GPIO module, so we can connect to the GPIO pins by the importing the module. We then import the time module, so we can create a delay between the commands, and we then tell the code to treat the GPIO pins as a number they are on the board, and to turn the seventh pin into the output. So we can alterate the between the true and false, so that it can turn the pin on and off. So we can write it like the true, then it will turn on the pins, and if we write the false, then it will turn off the pins. So once it is cycled a few times, it will print the message done into the ideal, and finally turn off the GPO pins. Okay, so the we can also connect it with the 7 segment display and control the 7 segment display pins also. So we can generate the some digit by using the Raspberry Pi. Okay, so this is it for the today lecture. We see how we can I introduce you to with the Raspberry Pi, and then we control the LED with the using of Raspberry Pi. Okay, so if you have any kind of doubt up to now, then you can comment it down. Thank you.